Hello my friend and welcome to my Shafasa Zip. I hope that you're well. Now it's time to finally build our first project with a visual user interface, and actually we will build not one, but three beautiful projects in this section so that you can learn the basic of so-called DOM manipulation. So, up until this point, we have only learned about the language itself, but now we will take it to the next level and actually make JavaScript interact with real web page. So for the first time now, we will finally see a real project come to life, and so that's gonna be a lot of fun and really exciting. So let's start. So the first of three wonderful projects that we are gonna build in this section is a project. It is called Guess My Number, and here I have a demo that I will show you. So here, and I want with this kind of retro design, like inspired by the old 80s game, just to make it a bit more fun. Huh? So as the name says, the goal of this project is to simply guess a secret number which is between 1 and 20. So here in this input, we can type a number. So let's say 10. Then we click check. Okay? And then here on the right side we get a message. In this case it says that our guess was too low. So also we can see that we start with a score of 20. And now after one failed guess it decreased to 19. So basically after each guess that we failed, the score decreased by 1. So let's try another number. It's too low, so 15. Too low also 18. As you can see, decrease. Too low also, so maybe 20. Too high, so it is 19. And now it is correct. So you see that we get this correct number message. The screen turns green, and also we know have the high score here is 16. So high score is another feature of this small application. Then if you want to play again, we can simply click the again button. Okay? And it will reset everything except for the high score. So the high score is kept, and so if I am quicker in this round, my high score will then become better. So let's start again with 10. And maybe I will do it faster. Too low, so 15. Too low, 18. Too low, 20. Too high, maybe it's same, this one also. Oops. It is the same. So let's try again. Maybe I will found not the same number, 10. Too high, so here maybe 5. Too high, so let's try 2. Too low, let's try 3. Good. You see now the high score changed. Before it is 16, but now I have to do it very quickly, so the high score changed and it kept the highest one. So with this I think you understood how this project works. So let's actually get to work. And I will put this starter file for the code source in the GitHub, inshallah. Don't worry about this. And I have opened the source code in the Visual Studio. You make the same thing. So you open the project in the Visual Studio. So let's see now. Let's take a look of the files that we have here. First up, we have the Prettier Configuration. So exactly the one that we use in the editor setup section. And from now on, we will always use this configuration in every single project. Then we have also an empty script. We have the CSS style also, which you can take a look at if you are interested, at the same for the HTML. Okay? Now, the HTML will actually be important, because that's where we will find the class names of all of these elements that we're gonna have to select to make this project work. So if you don't know now what is the class names? What is the ID? What is the element in HTML? It is very, very important to learn the basic concept of HTML and CSS, just the basic concept, not to go far away. And I will, of course, do it very quickly when it is when I use them. So now the HTML will actually be important, as I said. Okay. And because that's we use all the class names that we gonna have to select to make this project work. It's very important. More about data. So, as you just saw, all of this interface here basically is implemented in HTML. So again, that is this document, okay? For this whole HTML document is made up of smaller HTML elements. For example, this message, I repeat again, just start guessing, that we see here in our HTML, okay? This paragraph here with this message, class, message, and also we have an ID. And so in JavaScript, we can actually select this element based on this class. So a little bit like we can select element in CSS, we can do the same in JavaScript. I repeat, you must learn how to use CSS, how to select element in CSS. It's very important. It is the mandatory before to continue. Just to do it very quick, and I will talk about the selection when I use it, okay? So now, if you are not familiar with HTML CSS, then please, I repeat, watch any course related to this. Anyway, before we learn what the DOM and DOM manipulation actually are, let's quickly learn an easy way of selecting an element like this in JavaScript. And this is how it works. So I go to the script, and here I will write document. I will not use the auto completion, I will write it directly. Document dot query selector. As you can see, I can use the auto completion, but I will not use it. Okay? Here is how to select an element from HTML. So this QuerySelector is basically a method that's available on the document object. And more about this later, don't worry. Now, into this method, we need to pass in a selector. And again, this selector is exactly the same selector that we will use in CSS. So we pass in the string, and we want to select the element with the class name of, let's say in HTML, it is message. Okay? So, how to select in CSS the class, the element with the class message? We will use the dot. So here, what I will use, dot, and then message. The same thing in the CSS. Here is how to select element with the class name. You will use the dot. Okay, so it is exact how we could select the same element using CSS. Now, if it was an ID, like this one, my paragraph, okay, here what you will use this character. And here we write your ID. Here is my paragraph, sorry, my paragraph. Here is how to use an ID. But in this case, I will use the class, so dot message. Okay? And so let's use the dot. And now we can actually quickly take a look at the result of this section here using the console. And remember that we set up the log snippet in the editor setup section. So I just write here log, okay, and enter. Automatically, as you can see. Now I will put this one inside here directly. Now, in case you skip that section about how to configure your Visual Studio, you can always go back and see how I did that, or you can just write console.log manually. Now, let's save. Oops, I don't save it. So let's save. Good. And now I do another thing that we did in the editor setup section, which is to open up this project using the live server. Okay, so what I will do. So if you don't have the terminal, just go to the new terminal from here. You know to do it, and also you can clear the content. All this one we have to do it in the customization in the Visual Studio section. Okay. Now let's write live server to run the project. So now we have this demo here that I am going to keep on the right side, okay? And then here on the left side, it is the actual project that we are building. Of course, nothing works yet, nothing. But let's just open up the console. So F12, and indeed, we actually already have the P element, as you can see, selected. So that's what we did here. Okay. So document.QuerySelector.message, and so in the console we then get basically this entire element. And so here we overwrite. It actually even gets selected here on the page. Great. So this is, So this is the first basically DOM manipulation that you did. Good job. Now, this element here itself is not really that useful. So instead, let's actually get just the text. Start guessing. Okay? And you can do that. Simply enough. All you have to do is here another dot after QuerySelector method, and then write text content. Okay? So this part here, first select the element, and so the result of this QuerySelector method is gonna be an element, and then on that element you can read the text content property. And so that's why we use another dot here. And remember, when we have multiple dot operators, they are executed from the left to right. Okay? And so first, this operation here is done. Then this selected here basically will get replaced with the element itself. And then on that element, we can read the text content property using another dot. So let's now save the change. And now, as you can see, we have start guessing, which is really just a text content of this element in HTML. So with dot message, this one. Okay? Good, good. It's great. So now we kind of know how to establish this connection between our code and the user interface. So in other words, the HTML document that's being displayed in the browser. So this was a quick introduction to the DOM and how to select an element. But what is the DOM actually? And what is DOM manipulation? Which is the big topic of this section. And you will see this, inshallah, in the next video. So take care of us. And I repeat, before to continue, you must learn how to use HTML, the basic concept, and how to use CSS, and also very important, how to select element in CSS. Okay, it's very important because you will use them a lot of time in this project. Take care of us. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, please. Faisal Azib. And if you like graphics, Photoshop, Illustrator, After Effects, Illustrator, and Premiere Pro, subscribe to free graphic and video resource. To follow me on Instagram, Faisal Chico, and free graphic video resource. Telegram, Learn, Practice and Share. Twitter, Teams Winners. I tell you goodbye. Wassalamu alaikum wa barakatuh.